Well, our first talk this morning is going to be and is entitled Burnout, or How to Prevent It. And I've got a question to ask. Is there anyone here who feels they need more energy? Yes, it's a common problem we all face. I have not met anybody who has ever said Doctor, I've just got too much energy. I want something to calm me down. There are parents who say that about their children, but nobody I've come across. So we're going to talk about energy management, and specifically, I want to talk about a condition called burnout. This picture here, which if you've got good eyes, you'll be able to see there's someone lying on the grass, covered up. That's actually a picture of me in 1994 in New Zealand. I was basically burnt out or nearly burnt out then. And the reason I became that way, that I was on vacation and I managed to get a bit of time off work. The doctor I was working with in New Zealand in 1994 said to me, I'm going to take the whole year off work because I've got chronic fatigue syndrome. And that was the first time I really got hit with this problem. And that was a bit of a stunning thing because I had to care for all her patients as well as all mine. A practice of about 2,000 patients in a rural setting. And so she was off for the year. I was covering all her work and mine and getting burnt out. This is somebody's life. And on the vertical axis, we've got energy, constitutional energy. Now, where do we get energy from? Food, that's right, and water and air. So the interesting thing is just not a matter of eating more food if you want more energy. You've probably noticed that. Although if you go without food, you don't have as much energy. But that's where we get energy from. I'm talking about chemical energy this morning that we get from food, water and air. I'm not talking about magnetism or electricity, as some people think of energy like that. So that's energy. On the horizontal, we've got time. So this person was born here, and when they die, they've got zero energy. This person have you noticed, as they get older, their energy levels get less, and they end up with zero when they die. When you the other thing I want you to notice about that is that the energy levels go up and down. It's not a straight flow from birth to death. Anyone feeling itchy? Anyone feeling like their nose is blocked? Anyone feeling bloated? I won't go through all of them. You don't have to answer. But this is very common stuff, and it's a big issue today. So I'm starting with the allergy sufferer's prayer. May God save us all from itching, from sneezing, runny red noses, from watering stingy eyes, from bloated stomachs, belching, diarrhea and constipation, from coughing, wheezing and suffocating feelings, and from all those mad, man-made chemicals. Amen. One of the things that can happen with allergies of the digestive system is a vicious cycle, which is really important. If you've got allergies and sensitivities occurring to foods and affecting your digestive system, then it's easy to slip into this problem. You have a bad digestion. Now, the reason the digestion may be bad is there's a lot of things that can affect our digestion, and I would recommend coming to this other talk by Oscar, I think it is, later in the year. He was doing a whole series on the gut. That will be very interesting because square centimetre for square centimetre, there's more gut of us than just about any other part of our body. In fact, there is more gut lining than anything else. So it's a big area. So if you've got bad digestion, it gives you inadequate building blocks because you're not absorbing your food properly. And if you're not absorbing your food properly, then you don't have the building blocks for a good epithelial tissue. If you don't have a good epithelial tissue, then that will give you bad digestion. If you have bad digestion, then you won't absorb your food properly. If you don't absorb your food properly, then you'll have a weak digestive mucosa. So it goes round and round and round. And that is a cycle that's quite common with allergies and sensitivities of the gut, and you have to break the cycle. Nettle is another good tonic herb, which it was worth trying for stinging nettle. Now, I don't mean eating it raw or anything like that. I'm talking about as a herbal tea or as a capsule. I like it as a tea. It tastes really nice. You can eat it as a herb. You have to steam it, of course, gently. Some would say you can eat it raw. Some superfoods are very good to include if you've got an allergy or sensitivity, just to give you that extra boost in your immune system. So these are things like spirulina, chlorella, green barley. So having a green smoothie or one of these health tonic drinks is a good idea if you're really struggling with allergies and sensitivities. We're going to talk about the famous 5 natural remedies. Okay, water. Water is fairly easy to come by in our country. So what do you do if you scald yourself or burn yourself? You should all know that. Exactly. So we get it under cold water as fast as we can, preferably running, and we keep it there for some time, if at all possible. That is vital for us if we've got a burn or a scald. What a lot of people don't know is that if you add Epsom salts to water, it makes it far more effective at healing and soothing burns or scalds. Now this here is a jar with Epsom salt solution, and all it is water with about a heaped teaspoon of Epsom salts put in, and a cloth. We keep that in our kitchen at home so that if somebody gets a burn or a scald, all you have to do is run for this, lift the lid and put the cloth on. Instant relief. I'll tell you something you can do to test that theory, and I've done it. I got last summer I got sunburnt, quite badly sunburnt, legs, arms and the back of my neck, stinging, and I thought I was going to be, you know what it's like, you go to bed and you cook in bed with sunburn, but I thought, Epsom salts and water, I will have a cool bath with Epsom salts in, and as soon as I got in that bath with Epsom salts, the stinging disappeared straight away. And that night I had no burning. In fact, that was the end of my sunburn symptoms when I got in that bath. Mark, can you come forward? Where's the spider bite? You going to tell me? Right there, thanks. So, we're going to put it on the spider bite. It's very simple, just do that. And get a bandage. Just hold that for me. But before we put the bandage on, it works a bit better if you seal it in. I like using this stuff. You can use a plastic bag. This is plastic wrap. It just happens to stick a bit better. If you don't have this, one of the things I do with natural remedies is you just do the best you can and leave the rest with God. Right. Yeah, we could do with a bit more plastic on that, but that would do. That would work. And then we just wrap it up. Charcoal has such good absorption power that you can leave this on for 12 hours or even longer, and it will not become saturated with whatever it is you're drawing out. Potato poultices you have to change after about 4 hours, so we could leave this on Mark overnight for a spider bite. Or say, well look, it's late at night, it's 10 o'clock at night, we won't bother the doctor tonight, which is a good idea. That'll give the doctor a good night's sleep. And then we'll book you in for him to check in the morning, and probably when he checks in the morning, you'll find, well, that's doing very well, Mark. Okay, you can sit down now, and we'll take that off later on. Or I might put one on your other arm in a minute too.